I believe we all have a story to tell. Most people carry entire lifetimes behind their eyes, chapters no one has ever read aloud. Healing doesn't erase the past, it teaches us how to carry it. We learn to walk with what broke us. We learn to breathe even when it still hurts. Empathy is the bridge between pain and understanding. And if that bridge can exist, even just for a moment, then maybe we could start to heal, not alone, but together. The world changes when we start listening to one another, because listening is an act of love, and love is what keeps us alive. You never know how powerful your story is until someone tells you it helped them survive. This is one of those stories. Two sisters who survived foster care, who found light in places most of us would never think to look. This is about the way trauma echoes and how love somehow always answers back. This is The Other Side, Light and Darkness. So how would each of you introduce your sister to someone who's never met her?
I would probably say she's like a beam of light, and she brightens every room she walks into. She's really kind, and she would probably take the shirt off of her back to give it to somebody if they needed it.
Unless it was like really cold outside.
If you don't know her, she might seem unapproachable. But she's very kind. She has a good heart. That's how I would introduce her.
So you don't have to say nice things.
Oh, my sister is what I want to be when I grow up, even though she's younger than me. And it feels like I don't know, man. Like you teach someone how to do something so well that you like don't do it yourself, and then I like sent off my little bird into the world, and now I have an empty nest, and I'm like my wings are broken, and I'm just like here watching her fly. So I'm just.
Oh, I love that. So what's one small ordinary memory that still makes you both smile even from hard times?
There's definitely a lot of memories that we hold of times where things were really rough and we went somewhere else or went with other people. We were at this person's house who we visited frequently when we were kids to kind of get away. There was always a lot of people there, so a lot of different people were crammed into like a small room. And like other people would be like drinking and acting a fool or whatever, and Lindsay and I would kind of be sitting in the corner, but I always wanted to be by where she was to like make sure I was safe. And we sat on this person's bed, and it felt like every time Lindsay and I were added to this like little group of people like lined up on this bed, it would break.
The bed,
the legs
would slide off, or the legs would go.
And of course it's like, okay, Lindsay and her little sister, like, of course they broke it. And it's like, we are already like treading on waters we don't want to be on, and now we're breaking stuff too. So like, I think about that a lot.
We broke that swing at that baby shower.
That's another thing, is like further down the line.
We break stuff all the time together.
Okay.
It's always us, though, it feels like.
Everyone's like, oh, and there goes those two girls who
and it's
who
like,
they think they are.
Like, looking back on it now, you know, we laugh, but at the time, like,
we were so scared.
We didn't want to get in trouble, so it was like, yeah. But looking back, it's so funny to, like, be like, okay, we did that together, at least. It wasn't just you falling or just me falling. Because, again, like, so many things that we did, even when it was so shitty, like, it was together, and I love that.
So, when did you first start realizing that your family life was not like other people's?
Anytime that I saw other kids with their families, they didn't seem like they were afraid of their mom. And they didn't seem like I didn't even know what walking on eggshells was when I was little. All I knew was that I had this inherent and deep and horrible shame in me from my mother. It was like a blanket she put on me that I was not allowed to take off. Seeing the way that other kids ran to their mom for comfort, like after school, when I was like actively trying to avoid going near my mother. I remember thinking, like, was I switched at birth? Like, anytime I looked at her and I didn't feel love or care, I was like, am I supposed to love her? Am I supposed to, like...
Wow.
Am I supposed to love her? Because I don't. Because I don't feel the way I'm supposed to. Because she never gave that to me. So I don't know what it's supposed to feel like. And I knew that as soon as I saw other kids running over to their moms and I didn't want to do that, I was like, all right, something's wrong. I thought it was me, though, still. So when I was younger, I thought it was me. I thought something was, like, wrong horribly with me. I was like, okay, so I don't know how to register emotions because that's my mom. I should love her. No, girl, it's not your fault.
No, not at all.
I don't know. There was like a level of secrecy to it that you feel like you can't talk about. Like, even in, like, the sweetest settings of, like, the nicest social workers, I see the badge underneath your fuzzy sweater.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're doing, and my mom taught me not to talk to you.
Probably the earliest memory I have is, like, when things were supposed to be really awesome and really, like, happy and exciting, they were completely tainted by who she would become not in front of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there'd be, like, family gatherings or, like, dance recitals and all these fun, exciting things that are really exciting on the surface of somebody watching that and being on the outside. But then when you're in that house and somebody's, like, not treating you the way that they treat you around other people, it's, like, hard to distinguish, like, okay, I do love my mom because it's my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize now, looking back, that other kids around me, like she said, like, you would want to be with that person who is supposed to keep you safe and is supposed to give you that, like, shelter when you need it, or that hug when you need it, or that I love you when you need it. It would be like
who am I supposed to talk to?
Like, who am I supposed to tell? And again, with the social workers at a very young age, I would be, like, going into school with welts on me, and
we just knew to lie.
Like,
we just knew
You were
we
trained.
had to tell
You were trained
lies.
to do that.
A lot of the people in the town I grew up in weren't, like, super rich or, like, you know, super close with their parents or whatever, but I just knew, like, this is not normal. This is not okay.
Coming to school with marks on their face like that.
Right.
No other kid's mom I know.
And people, like, not stepping in.
Yeah.
Like, that's another issue I feel like took place for a long time.
Like, you see a girl that's in your class, and you know that on the way to school, her mom didn't have to circle the block twice so that the welts from her smacking you would go away before you got to school.
And
like, that's insane.
that's
That's a real
like,
thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like, you can...
That's hard to, like, let go of even now, and that was, I think I was in, like, 3rd grade at the time.
I was just talking about this with somebody the other day, and it made me sick to my stomach.
So the same story that we were just telling about us getting into, like, a sibling argument on the way to school. We were sitting in this little truck.
She would, like, elbow me a little bit sometimes, just
or we would, like, go over bumps, and then I wasn't even intentionally at that point elbowing her. And then back and forth it'd be like, stop elbowing me, oh my god, stop, you know, whatever. And I remember that my mom just pulled the car over and repeatedly hit me in the face.
You wouldn't believe that, you know.
It was so many times that I started, like, slouching to the floorboard of the truck. And even then she didn't stop, and I was, like, literally begging her to stop. I literally didn't know what she was going to do next, if the slaps was going to be all that it was. And then this was at the time we lived about 20 minutes from where our school was. So this was like 5 minutes till we got to the school, because this entire back and forth between just like a sibling little tiff that happened became something so much bigger than that. And I remember going into school, which I had to wait to go into school because she told me that she said, you're not going into school yet. You're not going in there yet.
Because of the welts.
Because of the welts. I remember Lindsay went into school that day, which I could imagine was a hard thing to carry and not have to say anything about. But then I think like 30 minutes had passed. She had gotten ice packs for me, and you know, you can't be fighting with your sister like that. We just don't do that.
Yeah, and she sounds like a nurturing mother in that moment.
And then brought me to school And there were still marks on my face because she used to wear like rings and things like that, so I was not just getting like backhanded, I was literally slapped to the floorboard of the truck.
People are not listening when I say hitting your kid at all is horrible, but no one is listening when I talk about the way that she would hit. It's not normal. It's never normal, okay? But like you've seen in movies, the parents will slap their daughter in the face. One slap, and then the daughter will run away and like close the door. And no, closed fist punches, kicks. She was a baby. It's so insane. I just don't. I'm getting loud and I'm getting angry. It just doesn't make sense to me because as a kid, obviously you don't understand when it's happening and you're like, why? How could you ever? Why would you do that? But now as an adult, I'm even fucking more angry because having my own, I'm sick to my stomach even thinking about even looking at him the way that she would look at her. I could never do. You can't if you have humanity in you.
Yeah. Having to figure out a little story to tell my teachers or to tell people who would ask me, because there was a specific well on my cheek that would not go away. Like the day was passing and it was increasingly like starting to sting more and more, and I was like, can I go to the nurse? I just need like an ice pack. And I was like, oh, it happened in gym class. And my teacher and the nurse started talking back and forth amongst each other. And she was like, she didn't even have gym class today. Like, oof. That's not what happened. And so pictures were taken of my face. They talked to my mom. They, and I remember the conversation that I had with her following this was like, well, it's like, you can't just go around telling people like this and this happened. Like, they don't know what happened in her house. They don't know this or that. And just trying to like explain it away. And like something she had said was, it's like when you go to reach for the toaster and I go to close it and your hand accidentally gets stuck in there, you can't just tell people I burned you with the toaster. Like that was the analogy she was giving. Like,
why are you acting like you accidentally beat me up?
Wow.
Right. And so like certain things like that, and that was like the least of the things. And that's just like the beginning of it all, really. Like when she realized she could get away with doing that and nobody stepped in to make it anything more than like family counseling or coming to the house and being like, okay, we're going to work on some things as a family unit and talk through some things. It's like, I shouldn't even be here.
This woman somehow convinced every adult in our lives that Anna is the problem. That she's just a horrible nightmare child that she can't seem to get a hold of, and she lies and she pinches herself so that there will be marks on her so she could tell people I hit her. She's crazy. This woman was insane.
Sounds like she had an excuse for everything to back up.
She was immediately ready with 7 excuses, if not more, for anything that she did wrong. The hold that she had was so like wrap around 6 times tight that like there was really no,
like, she had a good job. The person that she was with for 10 years of our childhood had a good job. They were like revered in the community as doing really good things. They had all these girls. One of their daughters had cancer. Oh my God, she's such a family mom. Oh my God, he's such a family guy.
Keeping up
like
appearances.
Exactly.
What is your earliest memory of your mother's addiction, and how did you make sense of it then?
So my first, okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I didn't even know that there was anything really wrong addiction-wise or substance-wise with her. I knew that she was insane. I didn't know that there was substances involved, really, until I started acting out because she didn't take care of me or pay attention to me ever. So I would go out drinking with my friends. I'm like 15 or 16 years old, walking around town, like getting picked up by police officers and brought back home to my mother, who does not care.
Did the police talk to your mom about like, hey?
They were like, hey, you have to keep her at home, and she would just yell at me and get mad. But she wasn't mad that I did it. She was mad that I got in trouble, and she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed for her own sake, not because her kid was drinking and damaging her brain at 15. She cared about her image and her image only. I was 15, and she called me weeping when I was out with my friends. And I was like, Mommy, what's the matter? Oh my God, what's going on? And she's like, I don't like it. And I'm terrified. And I'm like, I have to go home. I have to go home right now. My mom needs me. I have my boyfriend with me and like my friend. And we're all 15, 16 years old. And there's blood all over the stairs. She has no clothes on and just sitting in her underwear and her bra, and has typed out a suicide note on the table on her stupid little tablet that she had to go on Facebook with. And she had like 3 cuts up on her arm, and there was blood. Oh my God, so much blood. She was so drunk that her blood was pumping so fast that like even the tiniest little cut you could die. Yeah. Like there's so much alcohol in her system, and it just reeked like rubbing alcohol in the house. And I was like, what's going? Oh my God, she's drunk. Oh my God, she drove home drunk. Like they all connected, and I had to witness that with my friends. And that was when I realized, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually on my own forever. Like there's actually I cannot trust this woman to take care of me. And that was when I decided I was my own boss. After that, I was only 15, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. So after that, she just did not get any better.
Do you have any sympathy for either of you?
I used to.
I think that mine runs deeper than Lindsay's, again, like I said, because
she doesn't remember and I watched it.
I think that there's things that like I said before, choose to put on the back burner, but I had sympathy for way too long because I was thinking to myself, well, like, she's burned every bridge except for this one. And I was like holding on to that, like the good stuff. And I think a lot of people can relate to the fact that you do try to hold on to what's left of the good.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want. Like you want it to be good again. You're waiting for it to be good again. And there would be like really, really good times, and then like destroying Christmas and like ruining the best memories of things. And that's why, even now, like I try to hold on to the good everywhere, because you have to.
You have to, yeah. Something I learned is that anger is such a heavy emotion, and it's just...
Here's the thing, I never really felt anger. I felt like betrayal, and I felt sorrow, and I felt guilt, but I never really reached that point because I just there was no time.
It seems like you definitely, with all due respect, it still sounds like you're carrying some of that still.
Okay. She wasn't even there when my son was born because I wouldn't allow her around. I gave her chance after chance after chance. And when I think I was like 7 months pregnant, I was big and pregnant, she burned her last bridge with me. She and her boyfriend got arrested for heroin. And I was like, no, actually. Mm-hmm. There will be none of this around my child. He will never know anything of the sort. No.
And I think, again, that leads into what I said before, to my point of holding on, is that she had something else to look forward to, and I was still grasping for that last little bit of hope. After foster care, after her going to jail, going to prison, crashing her car, destroying really important family memories, I still was like, well, like, what about the good times? Mm-hmm. So it's hard. And we had a bit of a distance for a period of time too, because she was like, how could you forgive this? And it's like, I never forgave it. I just was like, I was going to school full time, I was working full time, Lindsay had a baby on the way, she was married now, and I'm just like still holding on to that, for years this went on, of me just being like, well, when is it going to be good again? It'll be good again. I know she went to jail, but it's okay because, I'm her baby. She loves me.
But have you made peace with the fact that she might never, is that, are you able to give her another, or are you actually, it's done? Where are you right now with that?
So, I guess the hardest thing for me is that, no, I will never be able to, reserve a spot in my life for her ever again. And it's not just because of the things that I've been through because of her, it's because she changed her character in the way of making sure this is how people view her now. She's been sober supposedly a year, and it's just crazy to me that you could put your children through so many things, and then all of a sudden it's okay to be sober for a year. It took what for you to be sober for a year? Rock bottom and then even deeper. It's just like there's no coming back from that. No.
Where do you stand?
So, when I had my son, it goes back to her ruining things that she wasn't even, like, ruining everything all the time. She wasn't even there. And my whole morning of having my son was tainted by the fact that I had him and they set him on my chest, and I looked at him and all I could think about was how could a mother ever do the things that she did. I looked at that little boy and I thought I could never, ever do anything to ever hurt him. And I just hated her more. I looked at my son and I loved him so much that I hated her more. And after that, something in me just like snapped. And it literally like a pencil just snapped and I threw it away. And I have since it sounds like a sociopathic type of break, but like I'm through with you.
Do you feel not everyone should be a parent? I feel like why is there more of an exam to get a license to drive a car? Why do you have to go through more questions and answers to be able to fish for fish?
Even when she was the worst to me, I was waiting on when she was going to be there for me.
You want your mom.
And sometimes like you need your mom.
See, that's a thing that we both had in common, is that you have this deep-seated longing for your mother, but not that one. I don't want mine.
You don't want that version.
I want a mother. I don't want that one. I don't want her at all. I would like, I don't know, the ones that you see in the movies. Yeah. The ones that everyone else fucking gets. Why do they get one? Yeah. Where's mine?
My pregnancy, all I wanted was my mom. I didn't know what I was doing. I was young when I had my daughter. I was not in a good space with the person who I had my child with. And I just remember I just kept saying to myself, like, why? Like pleading to God on my knees and being like, why don't you want to be here for this? Mm-hmm. And she's in jail, like, while I'm actively pregnant, like.
Is she currently incarcerated?
So no. So she hasn't been incarcerated since 2023 or end of 2023.
When's the last time she's tried to reach out?
It's hard. She used to write to me when she was in prison.
She would draw pictures with colored pencils and shit like that. I'm serious.
And write to me, and we used to have names that we would call each other.
Since you were little.
Like mom and daughter, little fun little names, and she would write her name and stuff on it, and I never would respond. Or there would be jail calls constantly to my phone, and I had to block so many different times and so many different numbers. And kind of just communicate to my family, please do not let this person view my social media. Please do not share pictures with this person, because even when she tried reaching out, I didn't want it, and it was unprecedented. I didn't ask her to. Even when you have that longing, you know what's better for yourself. Yeah. And to put your foot down and be that's enough. We're not gonna do this.
I think that for me it was 2020 or 2020, whenever Animal Crossing, the newest Animal Crossing came out, because she mailed me money, and I think that because I hadn't spoken to her in so long, that she thought that I wasn't gonna keep the money she sent me, but I bought Animal Crossing with it, and that is the last thing I remember.
But that was a tactic she used a lot too, to try to reach back out, was
she'd give you something
trying to buy your love back, or mailing you your favorite thing, or
What did silence in the house mean, and what did noise in the house mean?
As far back as I can remember, I'd say 5 things were more, like I said, honed in on a sibling of ours that had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So for that period of time, it was more like if there was silence in the house,
it was actually okay.
It was okay
it was
because
and it was great.
She was getting care and things like that. But as time progressed, silence meant different things. So silence usually was following a big blowout between my stepdad and my mom, or her putting her hands on me and someone lashing out on her because they were like, why would you do that? It was all dependent really on the day and who you ask, like she said.
To this day, I can't take a shower peacefully or without having an actual, like a real hyperventilating panic attack if they're making noise outside of the shower, because when I was younger, every single time I showered, my mother would be beating my sister senseless.
And it's also hard too, because that's like when you're at your most vulnerable in any sense of the word. I don't just mean just because you're showering or just because you're not clothed. I mean, like, that's when you let your hair down and finally let the day, like, melt off of you, and you can't even have that.
Like, I've had to have any romantic partner I've ever had has to sit in the bathroom with me or be in the shower with me.
And that's
because
how it is
I can't,
here too. That's how
I
I
can't
am with my husband too.
Feel peace. I feel scared still. I get nervous. In my old apartment building, I had neighbors who would just go up and down the stairs. I'm panicking now because it sounds like someone's throwing my little sister against the wall. She's a grown woman. I'm still there. I'm literally still there every time I take a shower.
Did you ever feel like you became the parent in the house, and what did that look like?
Don't look at me.
I think it's different for both of us. I think that I became the parent to my parent, and I think that Lindsay became the parent to me. Because nobody else was doing it. And I feel like I was trying to just make her better, and Lindsay was just trying to make sure that I made it through. So that's my answer.
I think it's important to know that the first time I saw her drunk, I decided that, well, it's fine to get drunk, it's fine to get high, it's fine to do anything that you want to do. Apparently there's no consequences for anything. So I was a delinquent, stoned, any type of high you can get teenager, because she didn't care about me. She literally didn't even know. Like, she did not notice, and only when someone brought it to her attention and she was embarrassed did she care. But Anna was the one who there was times when she had to like walk me to my bed. She was only like 11. Like, she had to help me into my bed. She had to help me figure things out.
That's why it's hard for me to like do anything in my life without her. And it's not like a
codependency thing.
It's like you were there.
Can you tell me the timeline of, did you go to foster care and then get brought back, and then 1 year of foster care, and then she was like, I'm fine now, go back to custody to her?
So along the time that I just told you the story of when the like welts on my face and things like that, someone did step in, and this was like obviously somebody who either just clearly didn't know fully what was going on, or she had like spun her web to make it seem like it wasn't that bad, and it was just like a lapse in judgment, and we're doing better as a family. I went into foster care first, into a respite home, because of my behavior.
So you were separated.
That's how it was spun, by the way.
That was the first and only time.
Your behavior. You were an angry, bad child.
Right, and so
with oppositional defiance disorder.
Wow, how did you handle that? Like, you were separated from your sister?
That's the thing, too, is that, like, I think I was just waiting until I could go home again. Isn't that horrible? Like, I didn't want to be in respite. I didn't feel any better there. I was like, I just want to go home.
What was
She
it like
came
there?
home
What
and
was
she-
it like? It
So-
was like a group home?
So
or-
no, this actually ended up years later being the place that Lindsay and I were sent to, together. So it was a respite. So basically you go there and you're there for, it's usually during the summertime. I remember that I had to go meet with somebody who was like an anger management specialist because apparently I had anger issues.
It's like a scared straight program for.
It's like the
bad
place
kids.
that you go, it's a home, it's a foster home that you go to before you are sent to like a group home. Like a group home for misbehaved children.
How long were you there for?
I want to say it was like a week.
Yeah,
It wasn't
maybe
long.
a week.
But still, it probably felt like the longest week of your life.
It was a long, it
But
felt.
she came home so excited to tell me about all those things that she did, though. She was like, I got to sit at this desk and I had a pencil that was my perfect own pencil and I had to keep track of it and I wasn't allowed to lose it because if I lost it then I couldn't do my work and I had to sit up straight and look at this is the way that I had to sit and I was like, are you okay?
Because it's like that or this. You know? So that was like the earliest time that I was placed. And then I was brought home and like, I want to say like a year passed and my stepdad and my mom separated. And that's kind of when things just, it was like.
He was like the glue and once he was gone it was
How old were
over.
you?
I was 12.
Yeah,
It was
it was-
Mother's Day of 2012.
14 turning 15. I would like to say that there is a file somewhere that every person who gets us, who got us as a package, apparently got to read this file of us. And in the file, it says that my sister is a nightmare problem child who's horrible. So they already have this bias in their head.
Wow.
So if she has a bad day, God fucking forbid, someone has a bad day. Now she's showing signs of bipolar disorder. She's showing signs of being a nightmare. She's showing signs of having anger problem.
Okay, so how did you two end up in foster care? What was the first
Oh my god.
that
It
happened?
was literally Decade Day, wasn't it?
What's Decade Day?
Spirit Week at
Oh,
school.
Spirit Week at
It
school.
was Decade Day, and I was dressed in full Summer of Love 70s attire.
I had my hair in a beehive
Or
with leather.
did it happen at school? You were taken from school?
Yes.
I
How
had
old were you?
56.
I think you were 15 because you were turning 16. I was turning 14.
Mom went to jail, and she had been in jail for like 4 days.
No, actually, this was the first time. Or no, she didn't go to jail. She went to rehab, and her friend had picked her up to bring her to rehab, and it was like this whole thing. And Lindsay had already moved out, and I was kind of like living there with her, but then she went to rehab, so I was just living there by myself.
By the way, yes, she did just say that I moved out. I was only 15 and I moved out.
So I was living in an apartment that was my mom's at the time, and I got detention because I didn't do my schoolwork because the night before I had been up all night long with her the day before she went into rehab because she was
drunk
drinking
for like 6 days
She was
straight.
drinking for a period, like a.
How was
She was
she
having a bender.
alive?
I don't know. There was
Because-
times that she got breathalyzed and she was like 18 times over the legal limit.
Like she was close to death and just like walking around. And I got pulled out of English class, and they're like, we can't say anything right now until your sister's here. But so when she gets here, we'll let you know a little bit more about what's going on. And when she came in, she thought that I was in trouble. So she's like, what did you do? Like, why are you in the principal's
I
office?
would like to preface by saying that this was right after lunch period. I used to smoke so much weed on my lunch period at school that I would come back to school completely obliterated and very, very paranoid.
And she came in and she was like, what did you do? Like, why are you in the principal's office right now? And I was like, I didn't do anything. I don't know why I'm here. And then they told us, they were like, you're now wards of the state, and we are going to be placing you in foster care.
We were like, right now? We're going right now? I was like, can I go get my purse? And because they had records of us being bad kids, they were like, no, you're a flight risk, you'll stay right here.
And then they also said, like, if you try to run, there will be consequences.
Oh my gosh, they couldn't, like, they could walk with you to your locker.
And that's another thing too,
right?
is that, like, all of those things, we never got those things. We just left and went to our new house.
And how far away was that? Did you have to change schools? Or?
Yeah, we had to change schools. That was a different district. And all of my friends, like, even that I have now, are like, we didn't know where you went.
The first caseworker we had was an angel upon this earth.
I still see her from time to time at, like town things that are going on around here. She
was a sweet angel. There was never another like her. She was like as if the spirit of my grandmother was in another human.
So how does that work? Like, obviously, you've been in and out of foster care, new homes. You get new workers assigned, or how does that work?
It depends on the county.
Yeah.
So, like, when you switch counties, you get a new worker. Mm-hmm. And it's a completely different foster care,
Like a new system.
A new system. So, like, it's a different county, but some counties work with the same system, but then other counties work with completely different systems. It depends
so they
on,
have
like...
different, like, rules and regulations that you have to follow. Some foster cares are state regulated and mandated and makes you ward of the state. And some of them are therapeutic, which offer you, like, a clothing allotment and a fun money allotment that they give you. And if you age out of foster care, they help you get into independent living. They teach you how to be a grown-up and live by yourself. But, yeah, that first caseworker, there just was never another one like her. She knew that we weren't allowed to have our cell phones, and she looked me in my face and she goes, Lindsay, you hide it. You hide your phone. You can't let them find out you have it. And what's crazy is that she had 2 daughters in school with us, and we weren't even friends with her daughters. So it wasn't like she was doing this because we were nice to her kids. She was doing this because she had kindness in her heart. You wouldn't fucking believe the evil that some of these caseworkers have in their heart.
Is that like the first person who ever really was an adult figure that showed you that kind of kindness?
Aside from our across the street neighbor when we were little. And whenever she could hear literally screaming for help, she would come over, knock on the door, and say, can I paint her nails? And she would take her over across the street and paint her nails.
Wow. And tell me a little bit about that.
So I actually ended up being, like, pretty good friends with her son as well. Like, through my childhood years, there would be a lot of memories with that family because that was, like, it's right there. She was friends with my mom, so it was, like, wasn't a big deal. And so it was kind of like an escape, you know. But, yeah, those were some of the good times.
I'm glad you experienced that.
She was one of the good grown-ups. There wasn't a lot of them. There really wasn't a lot.
But you two became the good grown-ups.
My aunt and uncle are my good grown-ups.
Yeah, I agree.
So, as we found out that you were literally ripped away from school, were you thrown into the car and you were just driven there?
Okay,
Can you remember most vividly about your first night in foster care?
They literally put us both in this big black van and they were like, we're going right now. And we didn't start school until the next day.
So you started school the next day? Like at a brand new school, new life?
2 outfits total because
we didn't have anything.
They didn't give us any of our stuff.
I think we had our gym. I think I had my gym bag with me, so it was like gym clothes that I had already worn.
I had nothing. I had what I was wearing because they wouldn't let me go get my purse.
So I can tell you that driving up to this house, there were so many nice houses, and then we got to this one, and we were like, this is where we're going.
It reminds me of that scene in the series of Unfortunate Events, if you saw the movie, where it's literally all these beautiful houses, then Count Olaf is just creepy. Was it like that?
It was like a trailer, but it was like a house.
It was like a double wide, but the siding was peeling off. There was like bikes outside. There was dirt so much dog poop everywhere.
It was horrible and neglectful, and the father was an alcoholic, and the mother worked nights and didn't really care what went on in her house, and it was filthy, and Lindsay slept on a dog's bed, and
it was like a triple bunk bed, but the third bunk was just dog beds and pillows.
Okay,
4 dogs and like 6 kids, and there was diapers all over the floor all the time.
6 kids and then you two.
These kids were fucking nasty. They were just mean and gross, and they would like take their diapers off and just throw them on the floor. And like the dogs would go and like jump and like into the garbage and like pull diapers out. There was the amount of everything that was everywhere, and the water was sulfur water, so you smelled like rotten eggs. So you couldn't even. Of course, I have my shower problem anyway. You can't even take a shower and feel clean because your hair smells like someone cooked eggs in it. Like, it's disgusting.
So you get out of the van, it's you two and the worker who's driving you, or is there someone else?
It's 2 workers.
And you walk up and you meet these people who are supposed to take care of you?
On the porch.
Yes.
Yeah, the front porch.
Tell me about that.
It was basically the mom, the daughter, like, sitting on her phone, like, giving us this nasty look, like where'd you roll in from?
That's the people are supposed to be taking care of you. They don't say, hi, I'm Joanne, you know, I'm sorry about the circumstances.
So they shook hands with the social workers. The dad was there, also drunk, like coming out drunk, and shook the social workers' hands and introduced themselves to the social workers. And then they're like, well, come on in, like, we're gonna be starting dinner soon, you know, kind of thing. And then the social workers were kind of just like, okay, like, this is home, and then left.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And then did the atmosphere, the energy change when they left? Did they become a little more...
I wouldn't say that they were, like, mean by any means. I think the dad was, like, just, like, a drunk. Like, mm-hmm. But there wasn't, like, compassion. It was just like, here's your dinner. Mm-hmm. Like...
And then what happened after dinner? Did you have your own room? Did you share a room?
We all shared a room.
You all share. How many rooms was there in the house?
So I think there was 3.
And there were 6 kids, 4. And then you, so 8?
Yeah.
And then the parents. 5 animals.
The parents.
I remember the living room was like, I wanted to live in that living room only. I remember after a bit, I slept on the couch specifically because I loved that living room. It was big.
So I bet you didn't sleep at all that night, though.
I didn't.
Were you talking with one another? What were y'all thinking?
No, because we couldn't talk at night because they had, like, monitors.
They had monitors? That's not normal, right? No. In foster care?
No, wow. It depends on the house.
You're like, wow.
A lot of them did have monitors.
Wow.
And their, like, excuse was, like, for babies or for other kids, but then it would be, like, in the teenager's room. We shared a room with the woman's daughter, and she would, like, sit up all night on her phone, and we're just sitting there, like...
I'm very horrified, because obviously I wrote these questions, not expecting that some of these, I'm just very floored by the monitoring, so you couldn't even talk about your situation that you were experiencing together. Mm-hmm. You know, all you had was each other.
We were just a case. We weren't just like we weren't kids that needed help. We were, oh, those poor things, case number 347. Well, I remember I was standing on the porch and I'm weeping. I cannot stop crying. My whole life just got torn apart. Okay, when you are 15 years old.
And now it's dinner time, so at someone else's house, like, their
your life
standard...
ripped out, your carpet ripped out from under you. It's dinner time now. Hello?
When was the first time y'all were able to, like, maybe you went outside in the backyard and had some work? When was the first time you talked about it? Did you just not talk about it?
I think we talked about it in school, because we would see each other in school.
One of our social workers was like, do you guys want to go stay with
XYZ?
So-and-so?
Yeah. And
we were like, yeah. Like, that would be way better than staying somewhere with people we don't know. But the state has a lot of, like... What's so fucked up is that they had really intense regulations on, like, people that we knew and loved who wanted to have us stay there. They were like, you need to have this many beds and this many inches and this many outlet covers. What the fuck are you doing with the foster homes you're putting us in? I'm sleeping on a dog's bed. And I can't go stay at my cousin's house because she doesn't have a big enough bed for me? I don't understand. They told us we could not stay with our father because he didn't have enough bedrooms.
Wow. But you're sharing a bed.
But I'm sleeping on the floor.
Do the foster parents know that you were doing this?
That was the bed that they gave her, like, knowingly, yes.
Yeah, they were like, you're gonna have to watch out because Kenai sleeps there too. Kenai the dog.
Another thing too that I like distinctly remember is like the living room that she was talking about. They had like 2 living rooms, but one was the dad's only. Like, you're not allowed to go in there. If he's on his computer, don't go in there. Don't go near this.
He's just playing loud, sad country music and
drinking so much beer.
Did they work, or was this their?
She was a nurse.
And then the father, I don't know what he did. I don't remember him.
He must have been blue collar, retired or something because of the injury. It's always an injury with those old drunk men. I don't know.
But so I remember distinctly that there was 2 living rooms, and the one we couldn't go in, and then the other one that Lindsay's referencing, the one that she would go and sleep in. There was another room completely off of that, with just empty beer, like empty beer cans. So like the whole room.
No,
it was like a whole room.
It wasn't like Minecraft land built of just 30-pack boxes full of empty cans.
The whole room, like floor to ceiling. Like, we got our phones taken away, and it was
when
like
I reported all of the things, they got worse. Like, they were meaner to us.
And then, over time, I think that we just kept on calling like social workers and being like, this is unacceptable, we will not be staying here.
I said that I was
going
to run away.
You were doing this at age 15, 16, 17, advocating for yourselves?
Yeah, I called and I was like, I actually will sleep outside if you guys don't come move us.
So then they
came. The fact that you have to do this.
So I remember when they called, they were like, we found you a new place. I cried and cried. And because of all the dog hair and dog poop and dog everything everywhere, I was like, please, what does she have animals? She goes, she only has 1 cat.
Oh, I was so excited. We were so excited.
How long were you there for?
I want to say it was like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years.
Almost 2, I think.
Like, the first thing that both of us, I think, said was, like, we walked in and we were like, it smells so good in here and it's so warm. And so things were all right there for a short period of time. We were there for a while. The person whose home we were in also had a child of her own. And she was a bus driver, so she would have to get up really early. We lived like 3 houses from the school, and instead of letting Lindsay and I sleep until it was time for us to get up, get ready, and walk to the school, she made us ride her entire bus route with her at like 5:30 in the morning every single day.
Because she didn't trust us.
In conjunction with doing after-school activities, sports, and maintaining good grades. It was hard because while we were in foster care, our father passed away, and he had come to see us the day that he died. And he had my grandmother call this foster lady and say, he wants to come see you guys, like he hasn't seen you in so long. What do we need to do to be able to see you guys? And she was like, well, you can't because it's not in like a court order. It's not like, there's nothing that says you have to have visitation with your father. We were at a wrestling match because she drove the bus for this wrestling team. So then, while we were there and we were like sitting on the bus and stuff, my father had come to this wrestling tournament to find us, and he didn't find us. Later that day, he died. And to the point where I, like, understandably so, had a mental breakdown. I literally lost my mind, and I was like, get me out of this house. Then they switched me and her to the original foster home that I was in respite in. And then I think after that, I just had this brand of, like, being the bad kid. So that's what they treated
It's like
me
it was tattooed on her head that she's bad.
I just, like, snapped. Like, I just lost it. Like, oh, you want to see crazy? Oh, I'm crazy? Okay, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to break everything in this house. Get me the fuck out of this house. I cannot be around you. You are crazy. And you're making me crazy. Like, you're making me go crazy.
I understand.
It was just like emotional manipulation to the point where she'd be like, well, we have to do things this way, and if you wanted to see him, we would have to go through this and that. Well, he's dead now. We could have and should have seen our dad that day. And I think about it every day. There's just so many things that play into it of, like, hearing after that he had come to see us, because I wouldn't have known that otherwise. I would have just gotten the call that he passed away, and that would have been that. My little sister had to tell me at his funeral that he had come to see, she's 6 at the time, that he had come to see us with her. And we were looking for you, and we were looking for you guys in the school, and all the boys were on wrestling mats, and we couldn't find you, and he was looking for you so long, and we couldn't find you. To hear that, and to know that this person is the reason I didn't get to say my final goodbyes to my father, who, you know, how do you not go crazy after that? How do you not lose your mind after that?
You did, and that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, you probably hadn't, and you were how old at this point?
I was 14.
And you deserve to
Just
have
years.
you deserve to lash out then. I think
years of being told like you're acting crazy over things that like
so normal to act crazy about.
Especially like in your teen years, like needing your mom and like being moved around to all these places, different schools, learning new things, trying to keep good grades, doing after school activities. Like doing after school activities, you know, trying to make friends and not being able to have sleepovers and not being able to go out and make mistakes, and then somebody tells you that you're crazy and like that, like, how could you act this way? How could you keep me from that? So she switched from being a regular county foster home to being a therapeutic foster home in that time period because of my supposed issues.
Because she wanted to get paid a special rate for caring for Anna because of all of her problems.
So then when I did lash out and I did finally just say, okay, this is enough, like, you need to get me out of here, then it's like, yeah, see, you were crazy all along. You were crazy this whole time. And
Reactive
then that's
abuse
when,
from grown-ass adults to a child.
And then that's when we moved to the next foster home because I said, I'm not going back here. She'd be like on the phone with the social worker, and I just freaked out. Like, even on the phone, I was like, get me out of here. Like, I can't do this. This lady's crazy. She took my life from me. Like, you got to get me out of here.
You're like, go ahead, come pick us up. Come pick us up because we're not going anywhere with her. Like,
and then they did come pick us up that day because I literally was like, if you do not get me out of this person's house, I'm going to snap.
Is this the day your father passed? The day after?
So this was probably like, I don't want to say it was a month. I want to say it was like that's another thing, is that my grandmother arranged for my sister and I to be able to go to both the calling hours and the funeral. One was December 13th. The burial was December 14th. She made us choose which one we were going to go to. And my grandmother had already pre-arranged for us to be able to go to both by like getting us a hotel room. If there's anything you want me to accommodate, you guys can stay the night at our house. And she was like, no, you need to choose. And Lindsay and I were like, well, it's already been so long since we've seen her. It's been 11 months since we've seen our dad's side of the family. I guess we'll just go to the one that's sooner. And we never got to go to his burial.
Is this woman still in foster care?
Oh, she has babies. Little kids.
Mm-hmm.
How?
She always used to yell that at us, too. She'd be like, when I became a foster parent, I didn't want teenagers. I wanted little kids. I didn't want you older kids. You guys are all snotty. You all have an attitude problem. I didn't ask for this. I wanted babies. All the time.
And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of foster homes. It's like they're trying
want puppies instead of dogs.
Right. Lindsay had said to me, like, you didn't need somebody to be, like, hard on you or to make sure that you got good grades or to make sure you were enrolled in all these different activities to kind of, like, beef up their view of what kind of foster home they ran. We just needed somewhere soft to land, and I think that every single time it was met with, like, abrasion, no matter what. Like, it didn't matter what we did, what we said, what we didn't said, if we were quiet, if we had an attitude, if we spoke up when somebody was being rude, it didn't matter. Like, it should have been love. From, like, I think that every foster home should be that, and it almost never is.
Unless you're a baby. They only like you if you're a baby.
Which sucks.
What is something you needed? What do you think you needed?
There is this, like, inherent, like, ever elusive outsider feeling that it doesn't go away ever. There's, like, no reassurance that you are not a burden. You immediately feel as if you are impeding on someone else's life.
Or like their space.
Like you're in their house. You're sitting on their couch. How do I sit? Can I get a cup of juice? I've lived here for 2 years. Can I have a drink? What?
Like, where can I put this down and you won't be mad?
But when you live in a home like that is basically built for, if you are older than a baby and you're in foster care, you're in trouble. You're a bad kid. You're a state kid and you're there because you're bad. You're bad. And a lot of the kids that did get placed where we lived were bad, but we weren't there because we were bad. We were there because we didn't have any parents. So I just needed to be treated like I was like at home rather than visiting somewhere.
Did you ever feel that? I know you said you got adopted. Can you elaborate on that? So this is like the third foster home you got adopted?
That was home.
It was a good experience, or no? What, you said that was home?
Yeah. I'm kind of scared to talk about it.
No, I mean, talk about what you want to or don't want to. If I ask questions, or if you say let's move on. If it's a little hard, So tell me about the experience on the drive there. And
I mean, it was only around the corner.
It was only around the corner. How interesting.
It was a really nice house. Compared to the other one, it was just as nice. It was just bigger.
Oh, and they were so nice.
There was a lot of kids.
They felt bad for us, which was so new.
Wow. I bet. I'm gonna say it's almost like shocking to hear someone was compassionate towards you. I bet that was like a
Do you
shock.
remember we were standing on the porch and she was calling all of her friends. She was like, "You won't fucking believe what these girls went through. You should see them." She was like, "Here." She handed us the biggest plates of food, and it was good.
It was like steak. It was like steak and fried eggs and collard greens and like big giant portions of foods every time that we ate. And it did for a period of time. It was just like, oh my God, this is home. Like I can.
What was that
like?
Like
exhale.
It was like the first time you probably ever.
It felt like real happiness.
Like you could let out a breath finally. Can you tell me about what you were feeling?
When we got there, like I said, it was like lots of home cooked meals and. There was like a certain strictness to it and homework time and now it's snack time. Let's go get in the shower. Okay, now it's your turn. Okay, now it's your turn. Okay, now it's bedtime. Okay, let's get our snack for this. There was a routine there.
So healthy.
Like no other household that we had been to. So it's like right down the line, like this kid gets this. We're going to go get this for this kid. Then this person, oh, you need basketball shoes for this. We got to make sure that so-and-so has this for the play, and we have to make sure that so-and-so has this for cross country and this for that. And and I think as more kids who were in similar situations but also had severe behavioral problems started filtering through, we kind of got put on the back burner, and then those kids had to get certain attention to them, which makes sense, but now we're like, okay, we have each other, like it's all right, like we're gonna start getting like good grades, we're going to start doing after school activities more, and it's not going to be like you need to be home at this time and you need to but there was no phones, there was no communication with our family outside of this family. Now like it was basically like, this is your family now and everyone else is trash, so just remember where you came from, because what would you be without us? Or where would you be if it weren't for me? Or you'd still be at home with your mom.
So it sounds like it started out good, but
it progressively turned into like a ploy of, look at all the things we've done for you.
Over you. I did this for you.
So something that was started out so wonderful turned very sour.
And as tensions rose from other kids being in the house and our foster mom being stressed out, and then them, the parents arguing because they're stressed about this and so did that, and it would be, okay, now so needs to get in trouble, and then it turned to, well, what did Christiana do? Or, well, what did Lindsay do?
What about your perfect little Lindsay? What about her? What did she do?
So then it became this like totem pole of who's going to get in trouble next. How are we going to get this person in trouble
so
we're not in trouble?
Who is going to be the favorite?
This week.
Can we do so that we are her favorite?
Right.
So that
you're competing against one
and
another.
yes.
And so like the well like ran dry though, because no matter what you did, it wasn't enough. So like bathing the kids after like for bedtime, making sure that they had their meals, cleaning them up, cleaning up the tables, becoming like almost like how you would picture like how an Amish family functions when they have a lot of different kids in different sections of ages. So it'd be like 14 to 18, all of you are going to be helping with the little ones for this craft, and then you're going to clean all of this up. Well, okay, now 10 to 13, you guys are all going to be responsible for this and that. Okay, all of the little ones, you have this chore for this. And that dynamic works for a while until, again, one person, the well runs dry for one person, and then they're like, okay, well, why am I not the favorite right now? Like, I just did all this stuff. I made sure that all this stuff was done. All my schoolwork's done. I'm a scholar athlete. And why are you mad at me? Like, I did everything. And then there would be, like, family meetings. Like, this was a whole giant thing for years on end of, like, who can we shun in this family meeting? Who can we, like, make a fool of?
We're pointing at someone today.
Who did the most wrong and why? And if they did wrong, no one's allowed to talk to them for the next
That's real.
period.
That's not a joke.
No one's allowed to talk.
Or look at them, or talk
You're
to
sitting
them.
at the table, sitting on your hands at the table. You cannot look at anyone. You cannot talk to anyone.
Or you would have
no
to write.
one is talking to you either. If they do, they're in trouble too.
Right, because if you want to act like so-and-so, you can go sit at the table too. And so it was just this dynamic of like...
Hope you know you're so valid. Like, you know, like I see you. I just want you to know I see you.
I think
I love you.
it reached a point where, like she said, like we have to point the finger at somebody or it's going to be threefold pointed back at us. Lindsay went to college and she would come back and they would tell her she's not allowed to talk to me because I'm on punishment. So punishment meant that you would sit at the table, facing the wall, and you'd be writing, you'd be studying for something, doing your homework, you'd get your snack and you'd go to bed. And no one is allowed to speak to you. And if you walk by them or you like drop something by them and you talk to them or you had to do something, now you're in trouble. Or if you had to say something to them, you'd have to go tell your parent and then your parent would have to go tell that person. For a long period of time. I'm not talking a couple days or you bullied somebody and now you're getting in trouble for it. I'm talking this was extended
like
months.
2 weeks at a time at least.
Or sometimes months, like months. For me it was months.
These people adopted you?
Yeah.
So this kind of thing took place after being adopted. Mm-hmm. So it was like when we got adopted, everything's all great and like cherries and roses, like everything's awesome over here. We're getting like the lead in the play, or I just got Scholar Athlete Awards, or all these awesome things. And then we got adopted and it was like, well, now you're my real kid, so watch this. When the favorites leave, then there's a new favorite. And then there's they're closest to aging out, so now they're going to be the favorite. Or they are in basketball now, and
you don't understand that when we say favorite, I mean it's very serious. Like you would go on special trips with mom. You would go
get your nails done, or go get your hair done, or go get a really nice new dress, or just so many things. Like I can't even.
And if you weren't the favorite, you got to hear about all the things the favorite got.
And then it makes you grow this like building
now
quiet
you're fucking
resentment.
mad at that person for doing good when she'd be furious at me because I got a new dress.
Then it builds this like I said, like quiet, because you can't lash out and like say like I'm mad at you for this, because now like okay, now you can sit at the table. I had to sit on punishment for the last 3 months of my senior year of high school and have no one speak to me. So Lindsay came home from college. She wasn't allowed to talk to me. She wasn't allowed to say goodbye to me.
I had to pretend I didn't care. Every time a new kid came in, I was like, you'll die if you don't play the game. Like, I don't think you understand.
How many kids went through?
Oh my fucking God.
So many.
They collect fucking kids.
It was probably like 40.
Yeah.
My whole high school
Every time
career.
a kid came, I was like, dude, you gotta play the game. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, if you don't like it, you fucking pretend you do.
Sounds like prison. I remember there was a scene from Orange is the New Black. It's like surviving here is about perspective or something like that. And
it's literally, you have to see the way that everyone who is not being treated like shit is acting, and fucking act like that. I don't care if you don't like it. I actually don't want to hear about if you don't think it's fair. Neither do they. Do you see the way that I get new stuff all the time? Do you see the way that I keep doing more chores even though I'm pissed off? Do what I do. You'll be fine.
That's like the difference between she and I, is that I never did. Like, I don't care. I'm not a dog. Like, I don't care what you've done for me. I don't care that you took me in when I didn't have anybody else. No one ever said I wasn't grateful for those things. I just, that doesn't equate to me being treated this way, and I'm not gonna let you.
Yeah. Anna turned 18 and she fucking bolted. When I say bolted, I mean, like, I think it was like 3 days after she turned 18. They were all texting, calling me, we can't find her sister, we don't know what to do, we don't know what... I was like, I know where she is. So I started calling all my friends, and I was like, have you seen my sister? And they were like, no, I don't know. She's not with me, but I do know that she is somewhere in this area because I saw her smoking a cigarette out of a window. And I was like trying to get a hold of her, and of course she didn't want to talk to me because she thought I was still in like the cult. So when I'm reaching out to her and I'm like, girl, come on. And she's like, no, you're a bitch and I hate you.
wow.
And I was like, no, I'm not. Where are you? What's going on? What's going on? Where are you? She's like, I'm at so-and-so's house and we're dating and I have to finish going to school. And I don't know if I can date this guy anymore. He kind of yells at me like all the time.
So where was your mother in all this? Did she try to reach
Jail.
out?
She
Did
was
she
in jail.
try to...
She gave up her rights to us. We called her and we were like, can you give up your rights to us so we can get adopted? She was like, yeah, sure.
And so throughout these, years of being in foster care...
We used to visit her when we lived at the second home.
We used to go visit her in jail.
We would get taken out of school to go get driven by caseworkers.
And the foster mom sometimes, but
to
usually...
go visit her in jail.
And what did she say to you? And
She
Just
would
like, I love
come
you.
out with braids in her hair, and she'd be like, isn't it so cute? And she's got like a cornrow,
But there's like nothing else going through her head. Not like, how are you guys feeling? Not like, what's it like there? Are they nice?
did she ever apologize?
She didn't even care when my dad died. Her ex-husband and the father of her children died, and she was like, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm so sorry that John died, is what she said to me. On the phone from jail.
Has she ever apologized for putting
She
you
will
through?
never fucking apologize.
No.
Has she ever taken any accountability?
No.
She still to this day,
Even sober, I don't think she would, no.
she to this day will say, I never beat them. She's like, sure, I smacked her once.
A lot of the things that she'll say is, it was never as bad as you guys are making it out to be.
God.
It's like that stupid idiom that you only get one life and you're spending it not caring about, like, saying sorry or taking accountability or even just being like,
You're spending it
I
lying
wasn't-
to yourself
I
about who
wasn't-
you are.
I wasn't a good mom, like, and I should have been there and I wasn't, and now, we both have children of our own, and we've been married, and we, have carried on this, like, life without you. Don't you want that? Like,
Do you think there's any redeeming qualities about this woman? No, and that's very valid.
No. I don't remember anything good that didn't have bad right after it. Like, you have to, like, consciously erase everything surrounding any good moment in order for there to be a
I
good
have a
one.
very hard question, so you could skip it. If you got a phone call today saying she's at the hospital, what would you do, and how would you react? Would you?
I'd tell somebody else to go see her.
Mm-hmm. Would you go? How,
I'm sorry.
Would I go?
there's a lot of
No.
probably you might have some complicated feelings, obviously.
I don't have it in me. It broke when I was like 16. I don't have it in me, and I just can't. She could be begging me to care in front of my face, and I think that because of how often those roles were reversed and she did not give me the care I needed, especially as a fragile and very needy young girl, there's like a scale in me that will not let me give what I was never given. especially to her.
Like, the longer that you prolong needing to let go for your own sake, for your own growth, for your own, like, self-love, the easier it is for you to just be like, no.
Wow. So I don't think we finished the story of, like, did you stay with Lindsay? Did you stay somewhere until you built your own, you know?
So I was in a domestic violence shelter, and then someone found out where I lived, where the shelter was, and I had to leave that day.
Someone dangerous, or?
No, it's just that no one's allowed to
tell
know
people where you live.
So like when you're
confused.
When you're there, even if you had friends and family, no one can know that you're there because it is like a threat to your safety.
And others, probably.
And others.
Interesting.
And so the person I was dating at the time had picked me up down the road from where I was staying and could have maybe seen me leave from this location. So I had to leave that night, and I called Lindsay and I was like, hey, like, I literally have to leave, like, right now. And she was like, you have to come here.
So
And
I
then
literally was at David's bridal trying on dresses to get married, and I had to leave, and I drove to go get her.
Hour and a half, right?
And then I transferred schools for my last 3 months of my senior year, and I
lived with me and my husband.
Her and her husband, and then they were on the road to their new life and marriage, and they wanted to have children, and I was just like, okay, like, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. I can't stay here forever. I graduated, like, let's put it to work. And I went to college, and that didn't work out, and I worked full-time, and that didn't work out because of the area and just different things. And then I decided I'm gonna go find my mom and see what she's doing,
And
if
how
she's
old
better. I was 18 turning 19, and that was probably the worst it's ever been for me, going back to that, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I'm thinking it's going to be a whole new world. She had all these, like, conversations with me leading up to me going, like, it's going to be so awesome. Finally going to get this time to bond and get this time back, and you can tell me all the things that has happened to you, like in foster care and all these things, and it just was not that.
You lived there for a little bit, right? You lived with her again?
I lived with her. And so I was staying in a 1-bedroom apartment. I got really sick while I was living with her because I wasn't eating anything except for, like, gas station wings, and then I started drinking with her, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can bond by, like, having a couple drinks together. And I'm a teenager, so I'm not, like, out here, you know, getting, like, obliterated. I'm just like, oh, I want, like, a White Claw. Like, this will be so cool. Like, I didn't get to do this in high school. It'll be so fun. And then it turned into, like, I'd have one drink, and she's, like, 10 drinks deep, like, falling asleep on the couch with a cigarette in her hand and fighting on the phone with her boyfriend. And then we were sharing an air mattress together. There was mice everywhere. I mean, it was literally just like, how do you not see what you are living in, what you are doing, who you are becoming?
What was the dynamic change from you being, like, younger, a little more helpless, to, you know, you're technically an adult. Obviously, you're still a kid, but, like, you're growing up a little bit. And you said she didn't hate you anymore? Or?
No, I kind of just started to advocate more for myself. Like, I'm not going to allow you to do this to me. And at the time, I got really sick, and I had to go to the hospital, and I didn't have a ride home from the hospital, and I had called her, and I was like, I have no ride home. Like, I need somebody to come get me. She came and got dropped off by someone, which, unbeknownst to me, she had been drinking with that person. And she told me, you know, I can get an Uber for us, or a taxi, or whatever, or I can have the person who dropped me off come back and pick me up. Maybe she's close by still. And I was like, well, money was obviously really tight because, again, 1 bedroom, we're both living together. All of her money is going towards alcohol, or, like I said, like, whatever, gas station food. Her friend drove drunk to come and pick us up. Then we had passed, like, an accident that had happened on one of that main road there, and she like swerved off the road to avoid that accident, and she was speeding. Then she missed our turns, and then she finally turned onto the road that was like the next road closest to mine, and she like swerved and hit a pothole and then hit into like a telephone pole.
Wow.
Which she wasn't going fast, so like it just hit it and like jostled the car. All of my stuff fell out of my hands, and I just like lost it. I was like, let me out of this car, like I can't do this. I'm done.
Broad daylight, right? Like
yes.
like
no, this was at nighttime.
Nighttime still.
But during the day, while I was in the hospital alone, before she came, I had made phone calls to the same place that I was staying at, that was the shelter, the people who ran that shelter, and I was like, you need to get me out of this house. I cannot be here for my safety or for hers at this point. Like, I am making sure she's making it to the next day every single day. She'd like pee her pants, and I'd have to change her.
What
and
year is this?
This was 2018 into 2019.
So wild, like, you know, it feels so. It is recent still.
Yeah.
You know, it's still like it's not that long ago.
Yeah, and so then I had said to her, like, I had sent to Lindsay, like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell her this, but they like have a place lined up for me to go to. And I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Like,
Did you tell her? Or did you just
So
leave?
as she started to sober up, I did tell her, like, if you can't get sober, this dynamic isn't going to work anymore, and I can't stay here anymore. Like, I'm sick. I just got driven home by a drunk, and you were okay with it. You're falling asleep on the couch with cigarettes in your hands, and I can't even fall asleep because I'm afraid you're going to burn the house down. She would like leave the oven on and leave the house for like days. The oven's just on with like a casserole in it from days ago. I have no idea what's going on, whatever.
The fact that like you just, I'm not saying that you are lucky, because you didn't have a lucky life, but the fact that you're still here and are amazing parents, both of you, like you are breaking the cycles, and you should be very proud of yourself.
It's so easy to break that cycle. It's so easy to just not be horrible that it just makes me so sad that, like, the easiness in which I show kindness and compassion and empathy for others, why is it so hard for you?
Yeah.
Like, why is it, what the fuck is wrong with you? Genuinely, like.
What were you doing when she was living? How long were you living with her again?
So this was probably like a
month or two.
No, it was like summer into fall, and then in the fall time I had, before this hospital thing had taken place, I had visited with family, came back, it was still really bad, went to the hospital, came back and told her, like, I can't live with you anymore, like, I have found somewhere that I'm gonna go, and that's just like what it's gonna be. And I said, if you can't get sober, like, this is not gonna happen anymore. And she said to me, I'm never gonna be sober. So then I didn't sleep that night, and then I was picked up the next day by a social worker, and I started staying in a little cubicle room that was rented out to me. And I worked across the street from that apartment to afford it. And every day I just kept going to work and walking back home to my room.
And you were obviously not happy that she was living there, right? You're not happy that she was living with your mom.
I think I was trying to have my baby. I think we were trying for a baby.
Were you in contact while you were living there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you were telling her what was going
she would
on?
call me and she'd be like, dude, there's piss everywhere and there's mice everywhere. I was like, bitch, leave.
I think the final exhale, though, for me was that place, even though it was small and not ideal, and like Lindsay said, it was literally like a halfway house. A lot of drug addicts were living there, or people who were getting back up on their feet from homelessness. And the person who rented out this room to me, like, became a mother to me. Like, she took me in like it was second nature to her to just be there from that moment and every moment following. She was there for the birth of my daughter. She was there for her first steps. She was there when I got married. She was there at my deepest, darkest hours when I needed someone the most. She was there.
When you needed your mom.
There's a slight possibility she might be watching this.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that?
Well, okay, so people like to think that narcissistic abuse mostly only happens in like romantic relationships, and that I only most recently learned after being in a romantic narcissistic abusive relationship that it doesn't have to just be your boyfriend.
Yeah.
It can be your best friend. It can be your fucking mother. And my first narcissistic abuser ever was my mother, and the only way to make that go away is zero contact. Gray rock, zero contact, give them nothing. And she will still act like she's my mother on my birthday. She'll still post about me like she's never lost contact with me.
Becoming a mom, like, I do not want this person around my child. I do not want them to have access to her or photos of her, or like if I find out that you're someone in my friends list or on my social and you're sharing these with her, like, I don't want anything to do with you either.
All right.
Because it's my life and I get to choose now.
Yeah.
Me,
Absolutely.
not her. Because that was the constant, was that she always got to choose what happened, and now it's my life and I get to choose who's in it, and now it's my child's life and I get to choose if someone's going to be in it or not. She had like found a TikTok video of my child and commented on it. This had been years of no contact, and she was like, she looks just like you, she's beautiful, and like all these things, and it's like,
so
you
mad.
are so psychotic. You are crazy to even think to find something like that. You have been cut out of every other aspect of this person's life, and you go searching for this just to get that dig in, just to twist the knife.
I don't know. I think that I saw somewhere on her Facebook that she found Jesus.
I always do.
So I hope maybe Jesus is what did that for you.
If it wasn't your kids.
If it wasn't, the most godly thing you can do is to bring a baby into this world and try to love it and raise it, and you didn't do that. So I mean, I hope that you pray.
Hi. I would probably ask her. How could you?
I feel like that's just 3 words. That's almost enough. How could you? I hope you know how loved you are, and I know that, I just hope you know, and I'm not saying this as someone who's doing a documentary series like this, is like, you are surrounded in love. I mean, I've written poems about, your Jack and Jill bachelorette little party, about how I was so moved because you were surrounded by so many people who care about you.
So loved more than anyone I've ever met.
Yeah. You are too. You're loved.
But this is just.
I'm just saying that
it blows me away
you
and makes
two
me
really have done amazing things for yourselves, and you did not have the. You did not have
we
the
were
tools.
not handed the tools.
You were not handed the tools. You shouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
I mean that with like the most respect possible. Like, somehow you guys made it, and you're creating this wonderful life for yourselves. And I know like it's been rocky left and right, and I know like there might be rocky days ahead, but like you're gonna pull through and you're gonna do great things. You're great parents.
I think what's hard about it is like that's all I've ever heard is that you're so strong and you weren't handed the best deck of cards and you'll get through it and you're going to get through it because you're so strong and you've been through so much worse, so you can get through this. I just want to live.
You just want to live.
I don't want to get through. I'm all done.
Be soft.
Right, like the only way out is through. Okay, like I don't even want to go through. I'm like, good.
I'm gonna take a nap right here. I take a nap right here.
Deep and dark.
Let's take a break. Oh, I love y'all so much. Hugs.
You would never know by how like kind I am and how much I laugh and how you probably never see me not smiling, that I do not trust like a single soul, and that I genuinely don't feel like anyone actually wants to have me around like ever. I'm always worried that I'm like overstaying my welcome in any conversation, even like in small talk at my job. I'm like, oh my god, they're so sick of me, I should shut the fuck up now.
Well, not to cut you off, but you're wrong. People love being around you.
And it just stems from being treated like I was a burden forever. Everyone has a different like American dream, right? Like mine is literally just to have like a soft, gentle place to be. My chosen family would be just my sister and my baby, our babies. I want a little like family commune where I do the laundry, they do the cooking, I'll do the cleaning, if you take the babies to the park type of thing. I don't want much, really. I don't even no. I don't know. I don't need to be wanted in the way that I thought that I did, as long as like I have stability at this point. I thought at one point in my life that being like chosen and picked was like the biggest and most important thing that I could be, which is how I've gotten myself into so many fucking horribly sticky situations. When all that it really is that I was like looking for external people to choose me, and I didn't even choose me forever because I was taught so young that I wasn't like worth that. So I didn't pick me ever. I was just waiting for everyone else too, because I wanted that feeling that you get. So now I'm like very selective with who I want around me, and I get scared talking to even people that I've known since I was like 10. Because I'm like, what if you go away too? And what if you change your mind about me too? Well, being in a marriage for a really long time and now not being it anymore and not having that safety net or that comfort blanket of that person that you think is going to be there forever. It makes you really second guess who you're going to bring around. And then bringing someone new around and like having them be around my son and introduce people to my family and then have them make me look fucking stupid too. It's just like you have to really be very selective now. So chosen family, I guess, I know it looks different for everybody, but it's very small for me at this time. A lot of people have a big circle of people that they would choose to keep around because they have that amount of love around them, and I just don't. I haven't allowed that around me enough to have it. So I guess it's just me and my sister after all. So. Sorry.
No need to apologize. Do you want to take a break? Do you need a minute?
No, I'm alright.
Okay.
It's really hard to hear that because I felt like for a really long time all I did was choose me.
because nobody did, except for her. I rekindled a lot of relationships that were tarnished by me leaving when I went into foster care. And the friends that I have now, some I've made along the way, some I have known since I was little and then I was ripped away from. And I'm married now, and they all get to see that flourish into really what I have deserved for a really long time. I think that they chose me, and it was really easy for me to choose them right back. My friends, my husband, my children, because it feels safe with the people that I let in. Because I got to choose that. I got to let them in. And I got to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to allow in my life, and this is what I won't. That's really hard to hear. Because I do choose you.
When you picture your younger self, what do you admire most about how they endured? That's a tough one. If you ever need to skip any of these and say, that's, I've had enough, you can.
Ooh, that one's not for me. That one's for you, bitch. Being patient for so long, waiting for people to change, or waiting for people to be nice to me, or waiting for that little bit of hope that things were going to be good. In anybody, not just with my mom, not just with my dad, not with just foster care, but just the world around me. I think that I took my rose-colored glasses off at one point in my life, and I just never put them back on. Like, everything's really great when you're a kid, even when it's really bad. And then as you get older, you start to see, like, oh my God, like, this is not normal. And I think that I, like, lost that light, and I gave it back to myself. And I changed how I viewed everything that made me angry, and everything that made that slowly wither away. I made it better, and I grew from those things, and I chose to see the good in the things around me, even when it was really, really bad. Like, from start to finish. And by finish, I mean now, like from then to present. I'm literally having flashbacks, and it's making my stomach hurt.
Anything you want to share? Do you want to take a break?
No, it's not gonna go away.
Do you want to stop?
No, it's okay.
Because you don't have to answer this question, so we could move on to the next one.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't think I was doing anything spectacular when it was happening. I was just like, oh, gotta get up and do it again. I never was really like, oh, I'm trying so hard right now. I feel so proud that I'm persevering. I really didn't know that anything was horrible until it was over, and I was like, wow, that was really hard, and I was really little.
It's just, I feel like we're often like, well, you're a hero, you survived through all this, and in a way that there's a lot of truth to that, but it's, you were just trying to survive, you were just trying to get through each day alive in one piece, and there's nothing romantic about that. There's nothing, of course you're a hero, but like, there's nothing heroic about survival in a way. It never felt like triumphant at the end of the day. It never felt like, oh, I did it. Oh my God, I finally did it. And then like, they're still like, I'm grown. You're still, and I'm still like, I don't feel like I ever felt like, oh my God, I did it. Like, I don't. I hope one day you will feel like that, because I see that for you. I see that for you. You're building amazing lives for yourself, and I know some things are a little rocky right now, but I have full faith that this rocky period is going to be just that you will thrive to new horizons.
It's so annoying that you're right, because like
okay.
It's annoying.
It's true. It's in the 2010s. There was all these depression movies and suicide, and it's like, oh, it was romanticized, and survival's romanticized, and it's just like there's nothing beautiful about this. It's so painful. And
there's that one poem that was like, nothing ever happens poetically. It happens, and then we make it poetry. None of that blood was beautiful. It was just red.
Damn. What was the first time you realized I can actually create a whole new different life for myself?
When my son was born. The minute that they put him on my chest, and I realized that I broke the cycle already just by loving him.
Say that again.
I just loved him.
No, that's so not easy. What I want you to say.
I broke the cycle.
Can you say it?
I broke the cycle.
No laughing, because you are. Doesn't it feel? It feels kind of yucky, right? Saying that.
Yeah.
A little cheesy, but it's true. I mean, I know that's because we're friends, but I'm trying to keep this kind of like a modest type thing. But seeing how you two interact with your kids, I know. I wrote this poem a long time ago called "It'll Be Different for You," and I wrote about my brother and my sister-in-law, about how they treat their kids, and how it's like I wrote about my nephew and niece. I'm like, it's gonna be so different for you. You're gonna live a beautiful life for yourself. You're not gonna have to wonder if your parents love you. You're not gonna have to. And I feel that way when I see your kids, when I see the pictures. Stop! You're gonna make me cry. I just know that your kids are gonna be good people. Like, you're an inspiration to me, because your kids are gonna be living such fulfilling lives because they have you two nurturing them and guiding them. And the way you speak to your kids, I hear that. I hear that when I'm on FaceTime with y'all. When I see it, when you guys are great parents.
Thank you.
And you should be very and it could have led. Many different variations of yourselves could have happened, but you two are here sharing your hearts, being very vulnerable. You're helping people. I don't know if this series is gonna do well. I'm not doing. I'm not doing this for clicks. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this because I care about you two. I'm doing this because it could help one person, 2 people, 3 people. It's helping me. Hearing what you. I just want you to know you're enriching my life every day. You're my friends, but yeah, I just feel like I wouldn't be the person I am without you two.
So late.
Shut up! Let me adore you. You're just right. You're doing a defense mechanism. Hold on, let me diagnose you.
You're doing a defense mechanism.
But did you even answer this question? What was the first time you realized you can actually create a different life? You said holding your son for the first time.
Like when I said earlier, when they put him on my chest and I realized how easy it would be. It's just easy. It comes like second nature, like breathing. I don't know, speaking to him kindly is just as easy as singing a song. It's so simple to not cause pain to somebody that you love. It's so simple.
I know, I feel that.
It would never, in trillions of things you could ask me if I would do them, and still not even at the very last of the list would be to harm anyone, but especially my son, especially your own child. There's just no.
No, I would harm someone for my child, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, what was the moment you realized I could create a different life for myself?
When I found out that I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
As cliche as it is, it's like I'm growing this human inside of me, and I need to take care of me so that I can take care of her. And that's like when partial healing started, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had her, showing her that love that I didn't get, and just pouring that love into her and letting her know, when you need me, I'm going to be there. When you call for me, here I come. When you cry, I'm on my way. When you fall, I'm going to pick you up.
I often wonder if Not to, because I'm trying, like, because obviously I relate to a lot of what you're saying, but I'm trying not to make it about me. But like, I don't know. I always worried that I wouldn't be able to have kids. Like, would I raise my voice? Would I follow my mom's footsteps? Would I hurt my kids? I don't know.
I need you to know that as a mother and as a daughter of someone who was like that fear will not ever go away. But I think because of that fear, you're a good parent.
It makes you, if you wonder if you're a good parent, you're already doing the work. Mm-hmm. You're already going, did they get enough to eat today? Or are they mad at me? Did they have a rough nap? Did they wake up in the middle of the night and I didn't hear them? People who aren't good parents, and that's not to gloat, but people who aren't good parents would never ask themselves those questions. Will I snap? Will I raise my voice? Will I lash out? They wouldn't ask those things because it would come as second nature to be a bad person. You don't even ask those questions,
To be worried is to care.
So obviously we talked about you two not really being able to talk to one another for whatever circumstance, but in those moments when you did, whether it be at school or in the backyard or wherever, did you ever talk about that someday? I always said, when I turn 18, blank, what did those dreams sound like?
I just know that I would go to work, and when I would come back, she would be sleeping, and we shared a room, and I would sneak her favorite. I'd buy her a card, like a sympathy card, and I would sneak a Kit Kat under her pillow, and I'd be like, this isn't forever. I never talked about what it was or how long it would be, but I always, always, always say, this isn't forever. Because it never is. It never was. But I didn't want to lie, and I didn't want to put false hope anywhere. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I know it's not forever. And I don't know what comes after it, but it's not, all I can tell you for positive is that I know this won't be forever. And that's I don't want to lie to you, and that's the only comfort I know how to give you, so that's what I'll give you. And a Kit Kat, because it's your favorite.
I think that there was just fleeting moments in between of all of it where it wouldn't even have to really be words between us. It would just be like a look, like, it's all right. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm right here and you're right here and we're going to do this. Yeah.
He was like, I didn't know you guys loved each other like that.
A lot of people say we're like twins. Like, they think like we interact like how twins interact, and it's because that's my bitch. Like, I'm not going
my bottom bitch
anywhere. Like,
how did school and teachers respond? Who noticed, and what help actually helped?
I feel like we were friends with everybody, and we were just waiting for everybody else to be friends with us. Mm-hmm. But as like foster kids, we all kind of like sat at the same table, and we all gravitated back towards each other.
And only like the gentle people were brave enough to like sit with the weird foster kids, the state kids. And those were the good ones. Everyone could be going through this and you don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like too, like that like light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, for going to all these different schools is every time that you go somewhere new, you get to recreate everyone's like vision of you.
You get to literally make a new era of yourself every time you go somewhere.
What are you most proud of in building your life today?
My family.
My baby. My little guy. He's not even a baby. He's like a big kid. But
very smart.
He's incredible. He's a brilliant boy. There's nothing else. Nothing else even exists to me. That's how I feel. He is all I literally care about in the whole world. I don't care about anything else. I just don't. Everything I do is for him. I change everything about what goes on for him. I literally add and subtract people, humans from my life to fit what he needs. And I don't fucking care how you feel about it either. I don't. There's nothing that I won't do for him. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life.
Yeah.
How has your childhood shaped the adult you've become, for better or worse?
For better, I'm a better parent than my mom will ever be. And it's not even like a gotcha. That's just real. So it made me be better because the fear of ever being like that is so great and so insurmountable that there's no, like, literally, I would rather die than act like that. So that's just how I know that I won't ever. And for worse, I mean, I'm an anxious, scared mess all the time, and I clearly have like intimacy and relationship problems based around my trust issues in anyone in the world because of the one person in the world that I was supposed to have. I didn't have that. You know, that one thing was like your dad traumatized you by not being there, and your mom traumatized you by being there.
I think that I have a hard time believing people when they say that they're going to be there, or that something's going to be at a certain time, or that they're going to make sure something gets done, or they're going to make something special, because it's always been tainted by something, whether it was her, whether it was something that happened in foster care. So I have a hard time like believing, not just trusting, but yeah, relying on other people for things. And I'm learning how to. It's just hard. I'm extremely independent to a fault. Really bad.
Well, because it didn't come from a place of bravery, it came from a necessity.
Yeah.
Which is not the same kind of independence people think it is. Like, oh, you're such a strong woman. Bitch, I wanted to be soft, actually. So.
And then I think that for better, like she said, being the parent that I am and getting that, not that I need the praise from other people, because I know the kind of parent that I am, or partner that I am, that I don't need the praise, but it's a good feeling to have that, to know like it's acknowledged and it's like seen and it's heard. So for better, I'd say it's the mom that I've become and the person that I've become through being a mother.
Really great answers.
The closest thing to like literally being God that you can do is be a parent, and it takes a special kind of horrible person to do it wrong. Seriously. It's so easy to do it right. It's so easy. It really is. Like, anyone who's a good parent is just normal. It's so easy to be good at it. Because all you have to do is not harm them and fill them with love. It's so easy. Maybe I just am very good at being kind, but I really don't think it's hard. I don't know.
What cycle or pattern are you most consciously breaking in your own life?
My patience with everyone around me at all times.
You deserve to crash out, though.
But yeah, that's actively choosing not to is part of breaking that cycle. Even when it would be so easy. And it would be so healing, I feel like.
Cathartic, even.
To be able to do that, but I think it takes somebody even stronger to not do that.
I'm consciously not choosing to use any substances to the point of
Amen.
necessity, that if I ever feel that I cannot get through the day without a substance, I'm no longer using that substance. I don't even use nicotine anymore. I can't smoke weed without having a panic attack. I drink on social occasions, and even then I like stop and go to bed before I feel myself getting to a point, because I'm really not a fan of the person that you can turn into so easily, apparently, when you are under the influence of anything. So I like my brain untainted.
So this question. So obviously I went to your wedding. You know, usually there's like a mother-daughter dance, and I was like, you know, not disrespectfully saying, I don't know what she's gonna do. You know, obviously, and then you two had that dance, you know, sister dance, and I think it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever witnessed in my life.
I cried that
whole
whole
I saw. I was there. I witnessed it firsthand, and I don't know. How did you feel during that? Did you remember I wrote that poem, and I'm like, nothing is missing. Did you actually feel that, like nothing was missing at your wedding?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even to this day, there's not a single regret I have about that day. You know, you lead up to such a big event in your life like that, up until the minute that it's happening. You're like, well, what if this is like that? Well, I'm gonna regret this so much if this happens, or if my hair isn't like this, or if so-and-so says this, and it couldn't have been more perfect. In fact, it was more perfect than I even imagined it in my head. I think the only thing, I don't want to say that it's missing, but I think the only thing that was kind of like weighing down on me is that I've done so many things in my life and been through so many things in my life without my parents. I've been through horrible things without them, but I've done really, really great things without them. And that's one of the things that I did, that it was like I finally exhaled. And that's not just words of my own. My aunt literally said to me on my wedding day, it's like you finally put your shoulders down and you exhaled.
That's your mom's sister.
That's right.
There's always going to be that little girl in me who was brave enough to tell my mom to leave her alone that one time that I wasn't too scared, or the time that I had to pull her really fast so that someone wouldn't yell at her, or the time that they, like, there's always that little part of me where that, like, feels like my sister's, like, actual keeper. Like, I feel like I am the protector, like, the cage key. Not the cage itself, but at least I know that I can, like, protect her in some ways.
Yeah.
And I felt like as soon as she and Mac were saying their vows, everyone else was crying because they're like, oh, the vows sound so beautiful, it was so nice. This is her literally, she didn't even have to say it, but she literally just could have looked at me and been like, you can let go now. Like, you don't have to hold on to me anymore. And so I hugged her husband after, and I was like, please just take care of her. And he was like, I will all the time, forever. And not trying to make someone else's wedding about me, but I finally could breathe too, because I didn't have to worry about if I was taking good enough care of her. Because there's actually someone who's, like, worthy of doing it now.
But it's also like, you gave me the tools to be able to do it and go. You know?
No.
You gave me the tools to be able to lead a successful life that I'm building for myself. And now I'm doing it. And I think that that's hard for you, because you're like, what did I really do? And I'm like, you're looking at it. Like, I wouldn't be where I am without you. I wouldn't even be alive. Like, let alone growing and having the things that I have if it weren't for you.
A lot of things have happened that aren't spoken of, that have just, like, made me forget, like, who I ever, like, was. So I'm just like, oh, I guess I had an effect on somebody's life, and I exist outside of my own perception
I've
of
had an
me.
impact on many people's lives, my life.
And
yeah.
I just forget, I guess.
It's not so much like if you live in an apartment or you live in a house or you live in a trailer or you live in a little rinky-dink one-bedroom apartment, whatever it is. It's what happens in that house, how you love each other in that house. And we talk about a lot growing up. That safe space for us was my aunt's house, and it was close to home, and we'd walk over there all the time. We'd have barbecues, and we'd go over there and swim in the pool and have just cousin time and make food and do crafts and have garage sales. And all the best memories of our childhood are like me being like, oh, do you remember that time at Aunt Chris's house when insert the best memories of my life here. Lindsay has brought her son here to be, around my daughters.
We're like, oh my god.
It's like being in Aunt Chris's house. This is like Aunt Chris's house.
I do want to note that I feel it does add an authenticity if the floor is sticky, the table is sticky. There's things, you can see little handprints on the table. You can
a home that's lived in.
See the tipped over empty bottle of juice. You can see that they have been here and played here and enjoyed themselves. They are not scared to make a mess. They're not disrespectfully throwing things around, but they are not scared if they spill something. They don't look up and wonder if you're going to fucking hit them because they spilled juice. The other day, my cat spilled my entire huge Starbucks coffee all over the floor. My son looked me in my face and said, I'm so sorry, honey. Do you need a towel?
And that's another thing
that is him mirroring what he is told when he spills something.
Yeah. Or
he didn't say, Mommy! He didn't say, are you fucking kidding me? He literally said, I'm so sorry, honey, and got me a towel as a 5-year-old boy.
But that's another thing, too, is that's something that, like, my daughter will also do. And when you see it, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so cute when you're an outsider looking in. But when you're their parent looking at them, responding to something stressful or to something that they didn't want to have happen, or their tower fell over that they were building, and they just, like, shrug their shoulders and they're like, oh, try again. Or, I'm sorry.
They handle something with grace and you're like, I did that.
Yeah, I taught them that. There's also moments where they have tantrums or they have times where they're trying to learn how to regulate their emotions, and
it's their first time being alive.
Right. It's their first time out here. It's just amazing that you can see what you've done literally come to life in front of your eyes.
If your sister wasn't in the picture, how would have your story been different?
I'd be dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made it. There's no way.
I would have given up.
I don't love or trust anyone the same way I love or trust my sister.
Me too.
If you could thank your sister for one specific thing she did back then, what would it be?
There was times where I would be on punishment and she'd talk to me anyway, even if it meant that she'd be on punishment too, or vice versa.
So, I think you touched on this for a second. Was there ever a time you two drifted apart, and how did you find your way back?
A couple times. When Lindsay went to college, we didn't get to talk because I was on punishment. So when she went to college, I had to wave goodbye to her, like, from the window.
And I would cry her the whole way home.
And then she'd come home and I'd be on punishment and we couldn't talk. And then I got out of foster care and I lived with her, and then I left her house and I was with my mom for a period of time. And after I left, I still had communication with her for a short period of time, and Lindsay didn't talk to me because I talked to her. And then rekindling that was like, it was really like we just picked up where we left off.
One time we got in like a really awful fight because of her stupid scumbag ex-boyfriend, and she wouldn't say sorry to me, and she said she's not talking to me until she gets an apology. So I was like, then we won't fucking talk. And then I ordered all my groceries, like $400 worth of groceries, and I accidentally got them delivered to her house instead of mine. So I had to text her, and I was so pissed off. And she was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, God literally hates me. There's literally no way this is real. Like,
Looking back, what do you admire most about your sister's resilience?
you should not be alive. No, like, even just in the physical sense, I don't know how you didn't die. No, like, people get hit less than you and die. Yeah. I have never seen someone get actually just eat punches and fucking kicks and slaps and just be like,
I think it's because I was just so pissed off.
that's so fucking crazy.
But again, that comes back
Virgos will live out of spite, if nothing else. A Virgo will literally continue to live out of spite alone.
I think that that's also, like I said before, like, it took a lot of anger to be this soft. It was just anger, I think, that got me through for the longest time. And that's...
I know, but you were too little to even feel, like, real anger.
Rage, Lindsay, rage.
If you could promise your younger self one thing about the future, what would it be?
You will never end up like your mom.
The only way I was through.
God damn it, Dee Blanchard. You know what's really crazy? At all time, even since I was like 5, I was like, God's got me if no one else does. Even this seems really, really horrible right now. God's got me at some point. I know it. And I was like, that sounds silly when you're going through something so horrible and everything is bloody and there's fear everywhere and nothing feels like it's ever going to be right again. But it always is. It always is right at some point.
It's also super cliche to say, but it is about perspective, too.
What's the most healing thing your sister could ever say to you? And say it to each other right now.
I don't even have a sister. I'm literally the only child.
It wasn't your fault. Like any of it ever. Ever. And you did not deserve that.
Any of it ever. Even if you think you did, you didn't.
Thank you. You didn't deserve it either. And I don't like the way I look from this angle.
That part really got me, actually.
Don't take life for granted.
Mm-hmm.
You only get to do it one time. And if you always feel guilty for the times that things have happened to me or to you, you don't get to live in the now. You get to live back there.
I hate it there.
I love you.
Last question. When you picture yourselves as sisters 10 years from now, what do you hope your bond looks like?
Lots more visits than we get now. Yeah, living closer and spending more time together.
Maybe
and stop letting life get in the way.
Working less and
Yeah.
spending more time together. And making bread and...
Sourdough.
Yeah, making bread and...
Just like living.
I just want a commune. I just want a community. I wish we could get that big mansion in Indiana.
Yeah, a YouTuber lives at that mansion.
Fucking yeah, she
Kick
does.
them out.
No, she's really
She's
successful.
like a haunted YouTuber.
She's really good.
She's really good.
She's really good.
She is really good.
Keep in mind, these interviews are just an introduction to much larger conversations. And we don't claim to have all the answers, only open hearts, honest questions, and the hope that just by listening, we might understand a little more. These are stories told with care. This is The Other Side, Light and Darkness. Thank you for watching.